Okay, how about the Cardinals game coming up? Robert Saleh's coming off a terrible performance. Kyle Shanahan needs help reacclimating his number one wide receiver and his supposed franchise quarterback. Tom, give him some advice. What do they need to do to win this game? Although it's a game they probably should win.
Well, yeah, I look at Arizona's offense. Marvin Harrison Jr. just had appendicitis surgery on Monday, I believe, so he's out. Kyler Murray's out. They've lost their two starting running backs. Their two other wide receivers, Zay Jones and another guy they now have put on IR. I tell you, name another offensive player besides the tight end McBride.
Michael Wilson from Stanford.
Yeah, he's got
3 passes.
He's had a couple of big plays, but he has not had a significant number to establish himself as a threat. But he does have speed. He does have ability. So you're looking at a two-prong attack in the passing game. You got a backup quarterback, Brissett, who's had some success. The other thing that I still throw a caution flag out. 5 of the 6 losses by Arizona have been for 4 points and less.
That's right. So and a bunch of them are on a field goal on the final play.
They have played pretty well despite all of the injuries and the inadequacies that they've faced due to guys being injured and all that. So they've hung in there pretty good. So it's not going to be they're not going to just throw in the talent and let it be a blowout. They did give up points to Seattle. Seattle was up 28-0, I think, at one point. But I don't know if the Niners have the weapons to go out there and score 28 points in the first half.
They said they do. George Kittle said that they can score 40 points a game when Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall come back. I mean, what don't they have other than an offensive line and a running back averaging more than 3 yards a carry?
There used to be a statement about don't let your mouth write checks your butt can't cover. Well, I think that George, needs to understand that they've got to go out and do it on the field, not just talk about it in the locker room or talk about it in a press conference. And so until they do it, you have high hopes for them, all the aspirations. This is the week for them to see if they can go out there and explode offensively. Well, number one, they can keep the defense off the field so that Arizona may not be able to utilize some of the weaknesses and flaws that they've seen in the Niners the previous weeks from a defensive perspective. But, this should be a better week for the Niners, both offensively and defensively. I tell you, although I go back offensively, I should not put my lips on it and say that the Niners offense will do well because they still got to block this guy named Calais Campbell and they got this guy, Josh Sweat. They've got a couple of players up in the box who can present some problems for the 49ers from a pass protection perspective. And so it's not going to be a cakewalk in that regard. Arizona's got a couple of guys who are, and then I love the Buda Baker guy playing in the secondary. The guy's out there. He's older than you are, and he's still playing the game. And, he brings his best efforts every Sunday. So, you have a lot of respect for him as well.
All right. Well, let's help the 49ers game plan by going to our Playbook breakdown segment powered by Pass Reps, where we make you smarter about football every week. You can get Pass Reps yourself and actually practice calling plays before Sunday for only $1.99 a month. Just go to passreps.com or click the link below. All right, what is the play we're looking at this week?
Okay, now, this is one of my favorite plays that I would utilize with a tight end. In this case, I tell you, or they got this other kid from Cal, Tom, this guy would be great on this pattern. It's a sail route for the tight end. Instead of running the straight 9 route on the outside, which is the universal way to run the sail route, the outside receiver always runs a vertical. But when you play different coverages like quarters and things like that, we're going to run the post with the flanker, which will clear the corner out. And now the tight end can run the sail route, whether it's a 3-deep zone or quarters coverage, whether he's man-to-man with the safety. This is a great pattern for Kittle. Push it up to 12, 13 yards. And now if he breaks it into the void out there, as you'll see here, he can settle versus zone and he can run away from man and utilize his speed. And it's a great, nice throw. The other reason why I like it also, Grant, is Kyle has a habit of throwing the ball into the middle of the field all the time on square in routes. So many defenders are there, linebackers, safeties, and things like that. When I run the short corner of the sail route with a tight end, I've only got one defender out there. I've cleaned it out with the post going out there. So it's one-on-one with the tight end. I can control the underneath coverage with the back and the flat. So I have a vertical stretch concept with the post, with the sail route and the flat. And now I can give the quarterback a quicker read, fewer defenders. He's not throwing down the gut of the defense where he may not see a linebacker. He's, especially with Purdy out there, it's the angle throw. He can use trajectory. He doesn't need to drill it. He can throw it with touch, and it works extremely well against all coverages. I tell you what, it's really a nice opportunity for him to have a successful pass. And then Kittle is very good at running this route. This is one of the best routes that he runs in his tight end tree, is the sail route. He reads it well, stay on the move versus man, settle versus zone.
And is this sort of like a classic flood concept where you get 3 levels of people on one side of the formation of the pattern?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good observation. And then now on the backside, I want to help protect a little bit, even though it's drawn up from a right formation here, but I shift the back up in the wing so he can chip, and then he can run a pressure route, which will be underneath the square in on the backside. And I may even tighten down the split receiver so that he's not as wide on the backside, if that's Pearsall or Jennings or even one of the other guys that they're shooting up. But run that route underneath. But I can also find a way to help with my protection because I'm going to need a little bit more of a deeper set to think this is not a 3-step and throw kind of concept. So it's a big 5 or a fast 7 set up by the quarterback if he's not in gun, and then be able to make the throw. And so
how would you coach this play? Like, is Kittle the first progression, or would you want him to look top down? Like, would you first want to see if the post is open and then go to Kittle and then go to F, or would you ever go to X on the backside?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to look at the alignment of the secondary, the safety. Okay, if I've got the strong safety lined up virtually in the tracks of the tight end's alignment, I'm thinking, and on the snap of the ball, the safeties, stay straight. I'm thinking I've got a great opportunity to win on the strong side. If it's because when I see that safety lined up over the tight end and he backpedals and straight line and reading the stem of the Y, I'm looking outside for the post, obviously for the big play over the top, because the corner's playing outside technique without the safety in the post to be able to help him. I've got a shot deep, and then I can go to the Y, which is Kittle in this case at the tight end spot, and the only thing that can stop that would be the deep. If that corner is hanging on it, I should throw the post route. See, the thing about the mistake everyone makes, Grant, on this play is they have in their mind they're throwing Y sail. But the thing about it is, I as a quarterback have to think and make the defense believe I'm going to throw the deep route, be it the 9 or the 8 route, until I see the corner turn and run with the deep route. Then I'm going to throw the sail. As long as you're eyeballing me as a corner and you're watching and chewing on me, I'm going to throw the 9 route, because I can't throw the sail because the corner's just waiting. He goes, oh, this is the universal vertical flood. This is a bogus 9 route or a bogus 8 route. They're going to throw the sail. So they cheat in the secondary, and they're going to wait and just jump it. Well, you know what? I'm going to throw the 9 or the 8 until I see you turn and run. That's rule number 1.
Carson Palmer used to do a good job of that under Bruce Arians on the Cardinals. I remember he'd be very aggressive throwing that go route with that concept.
You got to throw it. And see, if a quarterback is not convinced he's not going to do a good job of selling it, the defense will read it, and they're going to jump all over the sail.
You just saw the breakdown. Now go test your own football IQ. Pass Reps updates weekly, $199 a month. The link's below. Don't just watch the game. Call it.